What's going on, guys? And today we are going to be doing a breakdown of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. But just a warning before we start, if you don't want any spoilers, this video contains many spoilers, so switch this video off if you don't want any spoilers. But if you don't mind, or if you've already watched the video, then let's crack on with the video then. In his quest to reunite Baby Yoda with his own kind, Mando seeks out other Mandalorians to guide him. This leads him to an unknown planet where he meets someone by the name of Gor Koresh that is said to know where other Mandalorians are. Gor Koresh offers a deal in which Mando would give him his armor in return for the info. Mando obviously declines, and things get heated, it's fair to say. Gor Koresh would then turn on Mando, pointing his gun at him, followed by a few of his acolytes. Mando swiftly deals with the threat, and before Gor knew it, he was hanging upside down from his legs on a lamppost. Knowing he is defeated, he tells Mando that he would tell him where the other Mandalorians were, but in return he made Mando swear that he would not kill him. Mando would then promise him that he would not die by his own hand. Gor Koresh would then reveal that the info where the Mandalorian was that he was located on Mos Pelgo on the planet of Tatooine. Mando would then head off to Tatooine, leaving Gor Koresh hanging there, as the deal was that he wouldn't kill him. And within seconds, Gor Koresh was killed by some sort of dog-like beast. Mando and Baby Yoda would then be greeted on Tatooine as they arrived by that same lady that had greeted them in the past season and who had looked after Baby Yoda in that episode as well. She was delighted to see Baby Yoda still alive, of course, as she had a good bond with Baby Yoda from the previous season. After a bit of a chat, Mando would then go on to ask where Mos Pelgo is and how he could get there. The lady would then lend Mando her speeder bike, as she had done in the previous season, which Mando and Baby Yoda would then use to travel to Mos Pelgo. Mando and Baby Yoda would then, after a long journey, arrive in Mos Pelgo. The town was so isolated, and the people in Mos Pelgo were all staring at Mando as he rode past. They were all very obviously very timid and nervous and kept their distance from Mando and Baby Yoda. Mando would then stop and then enter a bar. He would then approach the bartender and then ask if he'd seen any Mandalorians around here. He would then respond to Mando and ask what they look like. Mando would then say, "Oh, they look like me." The bartender would then mention the Marshal. As he wore the same armor as Mando, just as he said that, a man in what looked like Boba Fett's armor walked through the door. It was the Marshal. He would then sit down at a table and take off his helmet, which took back Mando, as Mandalorians aren't supposed to take off their helmets in public. After engaging in conversation, he would then soon realize that he was not a Mandalorian, which made the conversation between them much more hostile as it dragged on. Mando insisted that he gave the armor to him as it didn't belong to him, but the Marshal would refuse. They would then have a standoff face to face. However, they were interrupted by the ground starting to shake, and they looked outside to see people scurrying into their houses. Emerging out of the sand was a gigantic beast called the Great Dragon that would navigate its way through Mos Pelgo, narrowly missing the buildings, and then dive on top of a bantha and swallow it whole. It then submerged back into the sand and disappeared out of plain sight. The Marshal would then make a deal with Mando. He said if he helped him kill the Great Dragon, he'd give him his armor, as the Great Dragon had been eating their livestock on a regular basis, and he was afraid they would destroy the town too. Mando would then agree to the deal, and they would start to embark on their mission to destroy the Great Dragon. The Marshal, on their way to the destination, would tell Mando how he had ended up getting the armor. The story began in Mos Pelgo, when the second Death Star had just been destroyed. The Imperial occupation was now over. However, seconds after this moment of joy, the mining guild would move in, which made the Marshal flee. However, on the way out, he picked some sort of rock that was very valuable that would help him out later on. He would then be left to rot in the desert without food or water. He was on the verge of death, but to his relief, some Jawas picked him up and comforted him and gave him water, food, etc. They would then realise that he had some sort of valuable purple rock that he picked up, which Marshal would then trade for some armour that he saw in the corner of his eye. Using this armour, he would then go back to Mos Pelgo and fight off the mining guild, which basically then freeing Mos Pelgo. So then Mando and Marshal would then arrive at the destination. It was the home of the Tusken Raiders. The Tuskens' dog-like creatures would bark at them as they raised their guns. However, Mando would then crazily howl like a dog, and then, strangely, go over to stroke it. But it changed from a fierce beast-like dog into a normal-like dog and started rolling on its belly and stuff, which was crazy because they seemed all fierce and stuff, and then after he did that, they went all soppy and like a normal dog. The Tuskens would then walk out. They would walk out and talk to Mando about the Krayt Dragon. Mando would then find out that they also want to destroy it, which led Mando and the Marshal to team up with them to give them the best possible chance of defeating it, as the Tuskens knew the Krayt Dragon the best and knew its weaknesses. However, the Marshal wasn't happy, as the Tuskens had been raiding and looting Mos Pelgo, which made their people there have a severe disliking for them. They would then go together to the lair of the Krayt Dragon to see its size, by trying to call it out, and would successfully do so, but lose a Tusken along the way. The Tuskens, Mando, and the Marshal would then hatch a plan, and it concluded in them to ask for extra help from the villagers of Mos Pelgo. The villagers would not be happy at first, as you know, the relationship with the Tusken Raiders wasn't great because they'd been stealing their land stock and terrorizing them for the past while. I don't know how, they didn't mention how long it was, but yeah, they'd been terrorizing them for a while, so they didn't really want to work with them. But once they found out what was at stake, they agreed to helping them out. Together, they would have great strength in numbers and would work together to hatch a plan. The Tuskens would tell them that its only weakness was the belly. So the plan was to lower it over some bombs that they had planted next to its lair, and then blow it up. This plan went to perfection. Well, almost. The beast survived, and then started picking them off like flies. Mando and the Marshal would do all they could to stop them. They flew up on top of rocks and started shooting at it, but that didn't help. However, Mando would then think of a plan. He grabbed hold of a bantha that had bombs strapped to it. The Krayt Dragon would then swallow both Mando and the bantha. Everyone froze. But then, out of nowhere, Mando shot out the Krayt Dragon's mouth and then pressed the button which blew it up from the inside. They had won. They were all elated, as now they would no longer have to worry about the Krayt Dragon. Mando, Baby Yoda, and Marshal would then head back on the speeders, but it would then pan on to the back of a mysterious-looking man. The man turned around, revealing the face of Boba Fett. Alright, so that's the breakdown of the episode, which I thought was an incredible way to start the season. Do remember, if you did enjoy the video for today, please do remember to hit that like button and remember to subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great day, and may the Force be with you.